Ann Wagner of Missouri.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, for holding this hearing, and I thank you, Deputy Secretary Sullivan, for making the time to be with us today. I appreciate your leadership and am keen to watch the State Department redesign process unfold. As a former United States ambassador who spent 4 years at State, I am well aware that State Department is a bloated bureaucracy, and reassessing everything from hiring to diplomatic programming to cutting unnecessary departments is critical to advancing U.S. diplomacy into the 21st century. I believe that we can balance State Department's checkbook while promoting American leadership and strength. And I trust you and Secretary Tillerson to make those difficult calls. One of my longtime concerns is that State Department deployments are not well balanced to reflect the importance of American leadership in the Asia-Pacific in particular. Despite the U.S. rebalance to Asia, it appears that we still have very large embassies in Western nations where I served. And relative to the conflict that we're facing, insufficient staff at our Asia postings. Are you considering rebalancing the number of Foreign Service officers who are posted in China, South Korea, India, and the ASEAN nations to account for our interests in the Asia-Pacific?
Yes, absolutely, Congressman Wagner. That's one of the priorities of the redesign, is to rebalance our footprint. The chairman raised the issue of closing posts. It's not so much closing posts as
rebalancing, correct.
Exactly.
What's our time frame, sir?
The redesign we're looking at implementing, subject to consultations with this committee and others in Congress over the next several months. The rebalancing will be a process that is ongoing, and it should start immediately and continue through our tenure in office. I think it will be an ongoing process as challenges rise and we find the need to have more Foreign Service officers, civil service officers at particular posts.
Let me shift gears here a little bit, Mr. Secretary. The last administration fought to lift sanctions against Burma and give the country GSP status. But violence has raged on, and we're going to be having, thanks to the leadership of Chairman Yoho, a hearing on that this week. How is the State Department actively responding to the ethnic cleansing of Rohingya Muslims in Burma? And how will the U.S. protect this persecuted community?
Well, our outreach has started at the top with Secretary Tillerson, and our ambassador is working very hard and looking to go up to the region this week. We've committed already $32 million to address the crisis, more to follow, and a lot more intensive effort for our department, because this is, as I testified earlier, it's not a Burma problem. It's not a problem for Bangladesh or the United States. It's a global problem. The scale is tragic.
I agree, and timely also, as we've seen 400,000 refugees in the last week move on to Bangladesh. Syrian civil defense rescue workers have reported that they've been directly targeted by Russian forces, even though they are in a ceasefire zone and should be protected by medical neutrality. What is State Department doing to address violence committed by Russia in Syria?
We've established a military-to-military chain of communication. The U.S. Department of Defense, from the chairman on down, has been in contact with their equivalents in the Russian Defense Ministry. That coordination and deconfliction has, for the most part, over the course of this summer, worked well, but there have been breakdowns, including recent breakdowns, that we are addressing immediately in person with our military's Russian counterparts.
Good. Well, I thank you in that, and I will yield back my time. And
will the gentlelady yield for?
Yes, I will. I just want to say that if you are interested in input from a member of Congress who served at the State Department in your rebalancing efforts, I have a lot of ideas. So I yield back my
Look,
time.
look forward to hearing